So, you want to make a COD killer. Okay. So let's talk about how can we make a COD killer. How can we make a first-person military shooter game that's better than Call of Duty? Well, first things first, there's a few things you gotta have. And one of those things is aim down sight. I saw the new Counter-Strike that's coming out, and I've never played Counter-Strike, but I've seen a lot of gameplay from it. I've seen a lot of people enjoy it. I hear how good it is. I'm gonna just tell you something. In this day and age, if you don't have aim down sight, your game is gonna fail. Plain and simple. If you have a shooter game and you cannot aim down the sights, whether it be iron sights or it be an attached sight, a red dot, whatever, your game is done. Another thing you're gonna need, prone. Your game doesn't have prone. If you have a war simulator game like Call of Duty, or Battlefield, or whatever, and you don't have prone and all you have is crouch, and that's it, your game is done before it even hits the shells. Another thing, steal from other games. Steal their good ideas. If other games stolen other games with good ideas, why not? Why not take good games, good ideas and improve upon them? Halo stole from Quake, Alright, steal from good games and use ideas. First of all, use Call of Duty's greatest invention. And that greatest invention is the ability to switch out your secondary for another primary off the ground. A lot of games fuck this up. Medal of Honor was one of the games that fucked this up. Drop the class-based. That shit is over. That shit's over. Alright? The class-based shooters are over. They were fun for a long time. I enjoyed them. Everybody did. But it's over. In order you should be able to build your own class from nothing. If you want to build a heavy class, you should be able to build a heavy class without having to choose a heavy class and be stuck with whatever weapons it has. You should be able to build a class from the ground up. You need to use Call of Duty's greatest invention, the ability to take your stupid little pistol and pick up, an assault rifle off the ground. So now you have 2 assault rifles because you basically earned it. You got a kill. You earned the right to have 2 assault rifles. Okay? What else? You need to make things for the casual audience, but not cheap things. Alright? Fact of the matter is, these games are fueled by the hardcore. Like it or not, they are fueled by the hardcore. They're the people who give the feedback. They're the people who follow the Twitter. They're the people who know the game in and out. They know what needs to be fixed. They know things that are broken before the game developers know that the stuff's broken. Alright, you gotta have something to to help the casual player, but at the same time, you gotta stop the cheap shit. You can't have the death streaks and all the other cheap shit. You can't just completely cater to the casual audience. Now, you really gotta listen to your hardcore audience because it's important. You'll end up with your game being a bust because the hardcore audience feels like the casual audience hasn't earned their place. Alright, they really have to you need to die in these fucking games. Seriously, you need to die and earn your stripes in these games for people to really, for it to be a continuing series. Alright? The casual audience has to earn their stripes. And that's just plain and simple. Full button layout, just like Street Fighter. You need to have a fully customizable button layout. No more of this. You have to be that. Still have the standards. The tactical layout with these buttons, the default layout. Still let people switch to those, but at the same time, they need to have the ability to change their buttons to whatever they want. It has to happen. I mean, you might not think it needs to happen, but it does. People need the ability to do whatever they want with their buttons. There's no reason that it should be like this. Nintendo had fully customizable button layouts, okay? Let people do whatever the hell they want with their buttons. The single player needs to change. The whole dynamic of how the single player works, it needs to change. The single player needs to play more like an RPG. What I mean by that, in an RPG, there's always a guy who sells weapons. There's a guy who helps with crafting. There's a guy who does this. You need to have something like that in single player. It needs to play like an RPG. It needs to have a guy like Drebin from Metal Gear Solid 4 who sold you weapons and allowed you to customize stuff. You need to have different ways to change your equipment. You need to have the ability to make a character that you care about. Kind of like how in Army of Two you can make a different mask, have different outfits. Go somewhere and customize your weapon and do certain things. Maybe even have the ability to make like a kit, kind of like you do a multiplayer. Maybe play through, single player with your favorite multiplayer kit. It needs to play like an RPG. It needs to be less like it is now and more like, you know, maybe a shorter version of Grand Theft Auto. Or you need to be able to customize a character that you give a fuck about, and you need to be able to change his weapons, his gear, and everything. Because maybe you might want to come back to a boss and play him with different equipment. Really, you need to be able to take advantage of the different difficulty levels. If there's difficulty levels, what's the point if all you can do is use the same equipment you had before? To really tackle the difficulty levels, you want to be able to upgrade your weapons and come back to a new difficulty level with better weapons, have a different challenge and fight a boss a different way. That's what a single player needs to be like for it to be successful and go on to the future.